Today, we discuss airport transit access, we ride a hover train, and we get stuck in an airport terminal so late, we have to turn to our robot overlords for sustenance. It's not your average Trains Are Awesome video. It's the summer of 2024, and Lindsay and I are leaving our home in Washington, D.C. for a weekend of fun with family and friends in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Against our better judgment, we're flying, but I had found an itinerary on Delta from Washington's National Airport with a layover in Detroit. Seemed perfect, as the Detroit airport had a number of cool features that I'd always wanted to check out. And as would become clear, we'd have plenty of time in the Detroit Delta terminal to check them out. First though, we have to take the metro to National Airport. Alright, at Washington National Airport Station, which for the last 8 months or so has consistently had one of the two platforms closed for escalator rehabilitation. I'm Tom, you're watching Trains Are Awesome. Today, a little bit of a different video than normal. We are flying to Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm traveling with Lindsay today, but we have a layover in Detroit, and it's that layover that I want to highlight today. I've seen many discussions online about which airport in the US has the best transit connection. For me, there's one clear winner. It has to be DCA. Located on the Metro Blue and Yellow lines, you're only 15 minutes away from downtown, with a one-seat ride to any of these stations. But since the station is not at the end of the line, like most airport rail connections, you can also take the Metro the other way, further into Virginia. And since the station is right by the terminal, there's no long walk or shuttle bus required. Absolutely phenomenal. So every Metro station has a custom-made map showing all the bus connections that are available from that station. Now, National Airport Station doesn't have any bus connections. There used to be Metro buses that stop here, but not anymore. Nevertheless, we still have our custom bus map that just shows absolutely zero buses. We could enter the terminal right away, but since we have some time, let me show you something else first. If you walk from the station towards the rental cars, you will find the ruins of Abingdon Plantation. Founded in 1669, it eventually became the property of George Washington's stepson. Throughout its history, it did house enslaved people, and it burned down in 1930. Today, the airport surrounds the land, but the foundation of the house remains. And that willow tree? Sources say that all weeping willows in the United States are descended from it. Anyway, now let's actually enter the airport terminal.
Oh no, it's not ours. Good thing we didn't do that one. Detroit, 825.
Well, that was the shortest security line ever. There was no line. You know, I never complain about flying out of Baltimore or Dulles because it's really not that bad, but when we do get to fly out of DCA, it always feels like a treat. So close to the city, good food too. We're gonna go get something to eat and then we'll head to the gate. DCA has a lot of food options, more than most airports its size, and it has a lot of interesting stores. And my theory for why that is, it's not only because a lot of tourists use this, but also because all the Congress people use this airport. They're opening a Lego store in here. This place is just getting better and better. Dear viewers, you will be happy to know that since recording this, the Lego store has officially opened. There's also a Smithsonian store. Alright, so we're waiting on our flight to Detroit. We're flying Delta, when's the last time you've flown Delta?
Probably in college.
Yeah, for me it was like the very first month of the pandemic, so like a long time ago. But you just got a text message.
Our flight to Grand Rapids is delayed 2 hours from Detroit.
Yeah.
So
We're not.
which is the length of time it takes to drive from Detroit to Grand Rapids, so that's kind of dumb. But
Yeah, we'll see what we do. We'd leave Detroit after midnight.
yep.
While DCA's proximity to the city may be an advantage, the sheer number of flights in and out means that if your flight misses a slot, it can take a long time for you to leave. Some bad weather had forced our incoming plane to actually land at Dulles first, wait there, and then hop on over to us. So our flight to Detroit was about an hour late, but remember, we had already found out that our flight from Detroit to Grand Rapids was going to be at least 2 hours late. So we weren't too stressed. Finally, they called us for boarding, and we got on this Airbus A320 OW for the short flight to Detroit. Okay, made it to Detroit. And I think we can say that was objectively a bad flight.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, the A320 OWs are pretty cool, but we were already delayed, and then captain said it was too turbulent for them to serve us food or for us to go to the bathroom. Did you feel any turbulence?
There was like 5 minutes of turbulence, and then it was like fine.
I mean, at least we got to watch Friends together.
Yeah, that was objectively good. But there was also an iPad kid sitting next to us that cried every time my mom took out his headphones. So, was that a win? I don't really know.
It's 11 p.m., but I am excited. I'm not going to speak for Lindsay. I am excited, not because our next flight is delayed until 1 a.m., but because we are at the Delta Terminal at Detroit Airport. The Delta Terminal has all sorts of cool stuff, and we're going to go make the most of the time that we're forced to be here and check it out. And the first thing that I want to show you guys is the ExpressTram. Now, last time I was here was April of 2020. The tram was not running, but I think it is right now, so we're gonna finally ride it. This has to be one of my favorite airport people movers. The ExpressTram opened in 2002 along with the McNamara Terminal. Runs every 4 minutes. So the one thing I've never understood is why everything at this airport is also in Japanese. I know that there's a lot of Japanese people that live in Novi, but would that be the reason? You'd expect something in Arabic too then.
Yeah.
Normally, airport people movers connect different buildings with each other, but the ExpressTram is entirely contained within this one terminal. In fact, it was the first one ever to be built inside a building, not outside or in a tunnel. It exists because the McNamara Terminal is the second longest airport terminal in the world, at 1 mile long. Only Kix in Osaka, Japan is longer. The ExpressTram, built by Otis Elevators, is a hover train. It floats on a cushion of air and is hauled by a cable, making it easier for passengers to make connections in this very long terminal.
Please board this train for gates A1 through A55. Luggage claim, ground transportation, and concourses B and C. Doors are about to close. And stay away from the doors. We will soon arrive at the terminal station, serving gates A29 through A55. Luggage claim, ground transportation, and concourses B and C.
You want to go all the way to that end? Sure.
Stay on board for gates A1 through A28. Doors are about to close. Please hold the handrail in preparation for departure.
Okay, the fact that it is 11:30 kind of sucks,
We
but
will soon arrive at the South Station, serving gates A1 through A28.
this is a little bit of a plus side.
This is the South Station. Exit now for gates A1 through A28. Ground transportation and concourses B and C. Doors are about to close. closing.
Okay, that is so cool. I mean, tons of airports have people movers, but it's like inside the terminal, like not in its own tube or anything, just part of the building, like a giant model train. The technology is pretty fascinating as well. It's a hover train, so basically these giant fans push air out the bottom of the train so it floats above the track, and then a cable basically pulls it towards its destination. Made it to our gate. Right now I'm gonna check out one other really cool thing about the Delta terminal here in Detroit. I hope it's working. That, of course, is the parallel reality screen, where you can see your flight departure on a screen that nobody else can. And unfortunately, it wasn't working. All right, it keeps giving me an error message when I scan my boarding pass, which is really sad because I've wanted to do this for so long. Basically, you approach the kiosk, you scan your boarding pass, then you look up at the screen and you will be able to see your flight gate. But the thing is, you'll be the only person who can see it. So that was kind of disappointing. I was really looking forward to trying it out and showing it to you guys. Just a cool little piece of technology. Definitely, if you find yourself flying through here, try it out yourself. But at least we did get to ride the ExpressTram because that thing closes down at around midnight. It's pretty obvious that people are not supposed to be here this late. The last flights are already supposed to have left. Now, we were very hungry. It's past midnight already, but since we were expecting to be in GR at this point, where our generous family surely had snacks waiting for us, we hadn't eaten much back in DC. There were vending machines, and Delta had a little snack cart. The best part about having your vending machines by the trash is that the smell is so bad you almost forget that you're hungry. But I still walked the entire mile and back to see if anything else in this terminal was open, and it wasn't looking good. Until I saw a warm glow. It was our deliverer in this time of need, the ZaBot. I have never had pizza baked by a robot before, so I'm very curious. Press a few buttons on the screen, swipe my credit card, and it spat out a piping hot cheese pizza. Frankly, it seems I was looking for the wrong technological marvel tonight. I also got a gumball, because even the freaking gumball machines have card readers these days. Ta-da! A robot made it. And we are now officially on the last flight of the day to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Should have been there about an hour and a half ago. Finally our plane arrived, and we were let on soon enough. And the Detroit to GR flight is a very short one. I'm pretty sure I waited longer for the pizza to come out of the robot. But finally, we were at the recently renovated terminal of Gerald R. Ford International, but with no international flights, Airport in Grand Rapids. That flight was so short, my gum still has its flavor. As nice as this newly renovated Gerald R. Ford International, not International Airport is, next time we're taking Amtrak. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. And this is where our journey ends for the night. Just barely after 2 a.m., 8 hours after starting our trip in DC. Are you convinced yet that trains are awesome?